When Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway invested $232 million into China's BYD, it was a nascent startup that had just started selling electric vehicles. 14 years on, Berkshire's stake is worth $7.5 billion. And BYD has dethroned Tesla as the world's biggest EV maker by sales. Between April and June, BYD shipped 3.54 lakh EV units, an increase of 266% year-on-year, while Tesla's global sales grew 27% to over 2.54 lakh units. It also overtook South Korea's LG Energy as the world's second biggest EV battery manufacturer, behind China's CATL. The Shenzhen-based group is now aggressively pushing into foreign markets, including India, where it is set to unveil its first e-SUV soon, with deliveries beginning in January. The company has been selling its electric MPV E6 to corporate and fleet customers in India since November 2021. Its upcoming model, the Atto 3, will also be assembled at BYD's plant near Chennai, which has an installed capacity of 10,000 units per annum. Tigor and Nexon EV maker Tata Motors held a whopping 85% share of the passenger EV market in FY22. They were followed by China's SAIC-owned British brand MG Motors at 11.5% with its ZS EV. According to the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association, out of the 2.72 million passenger vehicles retailed in India in FY22, EVs constituted just 17,802 units or 0.65%. However, this represents a 257% jump over FY21.
Yes, you have a certain brand which is dominating because of their price points and everything. But I think in terms of BYD as a company, as you know, we are a global company. Our technologies are completely different. We have our own technologies, whether it is the blade battery, whether it is our motors, everything we produce in-house. So we have a great advantage of integrating the e-platform as well as the batteries, the motors, the conductors, everything we are able to do it. Currently, yes, we will only introduce the premium, top of the line premium SUV products, and we will compete in a very, very different segment. When the volumes start growing, when we have, volumes happening, when the demand gets going and BYD gets established, then we'll look at exploring local manufacturing facilities in the long term. So by 2030, we are looking at least 40% of the total EV market. That's our plan.
India is among a handful of countries that support the global EV 30 at 30 campaign, which aims to have at least 30% of new vehicle sales be electric by 2030. BYD's entry is a sign of the growing interest of global car makers to gain a foothold in India's EV market. After launching Kona EV in 2019 to test the market, Hyundai India is getting ready to launch its first electric crossover, Ioniq 5, this year. The South Korean firm has also started developing a small electric car for India as part of its plan to launch 6 EVs in India by 2028. Hyundai's sister company Kia launched its first electric car in India, the premium crossover EV6, recently. Sweden's Volvo debuted its electric compact SUV XC40 Recharge in India in July. Tata's electric SUV Curvv will hit the market within the next 2 years, while MG Motor will launch an affordable mass market EV next year. Volkswagen is also looking to sell its first electric car, the ID.4 SUV, in India in limited quantities next year. Mahindra & Mahindra will launch 5 electric SUVs for both domestic and international markets starting in 2024. Tata Motors plans to launch the Avinya, its pure electric car, in 2025. Luxury car firms are not holding back either. Mercedes-Benz will become the first company to assemble a luxury EV in India as it launches 3 electric cars this year. Audi India's launched its maiden EV offering e-tron last year. In a span of 6 months, BMW launched 3 electric models in India, the iX SUV, Mini hatchback and i4 sedan. Porsche has brought its all-electric Taycan and Jaguar its I-Pace. American EV startup Fisker is aiming to launch 2 EVs in India. Experts say the pace of electrification in the luxury segment is expected to be much faster than the mass car segment.
The EV market is growing. It is expected to grow faster. I think if you see compared to last year and this year, it has picked up in a big way. Possibly we are looking at 45 to 50,000 numbers calendar year 2022. So, because we have already done 25, 26,000 for this year, industry as a whole. I think the other challenge is the charging infrastructure. So by I think 2025, 2026, the charging infrastructure would have also been stabilized to a large extent. Even in other markets or China, for example, the initial 1.5 to 2% adaptability is what takes time, 3 years, 5 years. But after that, the adoption is very fast. So after 2, 5, 10, then the adoption becomes very fast. And plus, I think by that time, even the second-hand market will start coming. But now it is too early for a resale for the residual value of an EV because it's very nascent. Maybe after 3-4 years, people will start getting a value also.
At the current pace, EVs could make up as much as 1.4% of total domestic passenger vehicle sales this year, signaling an increase in adoption. With more than a dozen OEMs vying for India's EV passenger vehicle market, first movers like Tata Motors and MG Motors are set to face some serious competition. Although several of them are still laying the groundwork, Indians will see a wide range of EVs across price points 2 to 3 years down the line. Car manufacturers are hoping that by then the Indian EV passenger vehicle market will have come of age.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.